Holi is not just a night where we light a bonfire, sing, dance, and take selfies. And it is not just the next day of throwing artificial colors, loud Bollywood music, white kurtas, bhang, alcohol, and closed concerts that end when the DJ stops. That is not what this day was created for. Our ancient sages did not design festivals for entertainment alone. Behind this one night and the next morning lies a deep spiritual and psychological design. But before we understand that, let's revisit the story. A powerful king, Hiranyakashipu, a ruler so dominant that even the winds of his kingdom seemed to obey him. He had performed severe penance. He had gained near invincibility. He had conquered lands. He had defeated enemies. And slowly, power turned into ego. He no longer wanted loyalty. He wanted worship. Temples were ordered to be built in his name. His subjects were commanded to bow before him. His word was law. And in that palace of absolute authority, a child was born. Prahlada, his own son. But Prahlada did not chant his father's name. He chanted, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is a powerful Vaishnava mantra that means, I bow to the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, Vishnu. Softly, repeatedly, fearlessly. At first, the king laughed. It is childish ignorance, he thought. But when teachers failed to change him, when punishments did not scare him, when even threats did not silence him, the laughter disappeared. Rage replaced it. How dare my own blood defy me? The king decided to break him. First, poison, a cup laced carefully, given gently. The child drank it, chanting. Nothing happened. Then, snakes, venomous serpents released around him. They coiled, they hissed, but the boy sat calm, unharmed. The king's pride trembled. He ordered soldiers to throw the child from a cliff, high above the rocks below. The boy fell, but he did not die. Next, war elephants, massive beasts trained to crush enemies in battle, were driven toward the small body of the child. But they stopped, as if held back by something invisible. Attempt after attempt, failure after failure. The king who had conquered worlds could not conquer his own son. And then, he called for his sister, Holika. She possessed a boon, protection from fire. The plan was cruel, but simple. A massive pyre was prepared, wood stacked high into the night sky. The kingdom gathered, torches were lit. Holika sat in the center of the fire, calm and confident. Prahlada was placed on her lap. The flames were ignited. They rose violently. The heat roared. Smoke filled the sky. The crowd watched in silence. The king stood still, convinced. But something changed. The wind shifted. The flames moved. Holika's expression turned from confidence to fear. The fire did not touch the child. Prahlada sat peacefully, eyes closed, chanting. But Holika began to burn. The boon that was meant to protect her failed. Because it was never meant to harm, the fire grew stronger. And before the king's eyes, his sister turned to ash. And the child walked out of the flames, alive, unburned, unshaken. Pause here. This was not magic. This was metaphor. Hiranyakashipu represents the ego that believes it is invincible. Prahlada represents inner clarity. Holika represents borrowed power misused. And fire represents reality. When ego misuses power, it creates the very conditions for its own destruction. But there is also science. This festival falls exactly at the end of winter, when seasonal change allows bacteria and infections to rise in the environment. Traditionally, the Holika fire was not random wood burning. It included cow dung cakes, neem leaves, and specific organic materials. When burned, they act as natural disinfectants, reducing harmful microbes in the air. The heat stimulates the body. The next day, colors were not chemical powders. They were made from turmeric, neem, sandalwood, tesu flowers, herbs that support skin health and immunity. The celebration was designed to strengthen the body during seasonal transition. It was biology encoded in belief, psychology encoded in tradition, spirituality encoded in story. And now, everything aligns. The external fire mirrors the internal one. The seasonal shift mirrors the inner shift. The burning of Holika mirrors the burning of ego. The survival of Prahlada mirrors the survival of truth. So every year, when you stand before that fire, you are not just watching wood burn. You are witnessing a reminder. So this Holi, enjoy, celebrate, dance. But remember what you are celebrating. Burn ego, not values. Strengthen immunity, not intoxication. Relive culture, not trends. Start small. Organize traditional Holika in your society. Use natural materials. Bring back herbal colors. Show this video to your children. Sit with them. Explain the story and its meaning so they grow up remembering the real essence of our culture. Not just the celebration, but the wisdom behind it. Because our culture was not accidental. It was engineered. If you want us to continue revealing the science and psychology behind our unbelievable festivals, subscribe to the channel. Comment Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya if this resonates with you. And send this to those who should know what they are truly celebrating.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.